We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Some of those people actually still believe the Earth is flat. So if a few of them want to believe that we didn't go to the moon, let them. It's not an issue that comes up in my presentation.
The Earth being flat, that's clearly ridiculous. Though I've actually been contacted by some flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some Atlantean conspiracy.
It's cold out here.
Yeah, it is. It's like the South Pole.
It's like the deep South Pole, if there was one. There isn't, though.
Santa Claus kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
The German cartographer, Mercator, originally designed this map in 1569 as a navigational tool for European sailors.
The map enlarges areas at the poles to create straight lines of constant bearing or geographic direction.
So it makes it easier to cross an ocean.
But
Yes.
it distorts the relative size of nations and continents.
Are you saying the map is wrong?
Oh dear, yes. Look at Greenland.
Okay.
Now look at Africa.
Okay.
The two land masses appear to be roughly the same size.
Yes.
Would it blow your mind if I told you that Africa is in reality 14 times larger?
Yes?
Here we have Europe, drawn considerably larger than South America. When it's 6.9 million square miles, South America is almost double the size of Europe's 3.8 million.
Alaska appears 3 times as large as Mexico, when Mexico is larger by 0.1 million square miles.
Germany appears in the middle of the map when it's in the northernmost quarter of the Earth.
Wait. Relative size is one thing, but you're telling me that Germany isn't where we think it is?
Nothing's where you think it is.
Where is it?
I'm glad you asked.
on the bottom rung of the ladder. Just one more step and I'm... Tranquility? Holy living fuck. Are you fucking believing this? Over. We read you. Over. Tranquility Base. The Eagle has landed. Jesus H. Christ. Houston. We're on the fucking moon. Over. Roger, Tranquility. We copy that. We cannot believe you are on the fucking moon. Repeat, cannot fucking believe it. Over.
everybody. I've been looking at the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, which is the longest bridge in the world, and it's in Louisiana. 24-mile long bridge. So I wanted to see how they worked out the curvature building this bridge, because in 24 miles they should have to deal with 384 feet of curvature. And I even looked at a documentary from Modern Marvels that 45 minutes long, but they finally got to the point, and it was this. They threw this up as they were going to a commercial, and it was 35 minutes in, so I barely caught it. But this is what they're to compensate for the curvature of the Earth. The Lake Pontchartrain Causeway was built roughly 2 inches longer than the distance it spans. 2 inches for 384 feet. Then I just started checking out some other bridges. This is the top 10 bridges, or top 10 longest bridges. You can see it's not far behind Lake Pontchartrain, the next one. And there's, you know, they're all above 100 so far now, just dipping under. And then, yeah, look at this one. This one, Lisbon's Vasco da Gama Bridge, is 56,381 feet, 10.7 miles. So that is 76 feet of curvature that you should see, 76 feet of drop. So that's about a fifth of what the Lake Pontchartrain drop is, 384. So if Lake Pontchartrain just had to use 2 inches of extra road, these guys probably didn't have to use hardly any to cover that whole 76 feet of drop. And I thought I'd show you guys how I'm figuring out how much curvature we should be seeing. So in the first mile you get 8 inches of drop. So for the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, we'll take 24 squared times that 8 inches, and then you can divide it by 12 to get your feet, and that's 384 feet of curvature that they should have to deal with, but they only had to add 2 inches of road for that. So okay, that's been explained. Now back to work. Thanks for tuning in.
Is how, yeah? There's plenty of them. So within the universe, at the bottom of the universal bubble, there's like an ocean, we say. And at the bottom of that ocean, the divine energy expands himself into the bottom of the universe, and then through that he expands himself one further time as all the souls in all the universe. Yeah, every single atom has a soul at the center of it. Yeah, every single atom, and that soul, whether it's in a snail or a slug or some big amazing being, it's just they're all exactly equal, but they're all unique. Yeah, that's Brahma. That's who makes the universe. That's who weaves the DNA. Incredibly clever. Is the firstborn being in each universe, is the oldest born being in each universe. And so it's, in a sense, God made the universe, but in another sense his mate made it for him. Yeah? And why? Because he had this dream. He said, hey, well, I want to create a universe. And he said, no problem, off you go. Yeah? And then he teaches him how to do it. Yeah, that's the Brahma Samhita. That's the book that goes the big whole, everything to do with that and how that happened. Yeah, so you've got different levels in the universe. There's three basic planes of existence within the universe: the lower, the middle, and the higher. You see that in all ancient cultures and in Lord of the Rings. There's a side vision. Yeah, this came from NASA. So it's very, very, very good. This is our middle plane of the universe. Yeah. Each area, each concentric ring, they're a bit like vinyls of different sizes, all stacked together. If you imagine that. So they all coexist together. Some are higher, some are lower, but they're all spinning around a central point. Yeah. We are somewhere within that. All of this is massive, truly massive, and there's lots of stuff that lives in it too. That's what it looks like on the side, and no, it's not a spinning ball. However, for the people that don't like this, that are still attached to the spinning ball idea, 1400 years Copernicus, great sages, also made up how the ball model can also work alongside, because they made the maths for it. And they also created the idea of gravity way, way, way before Newton did. So whether you're not happy with the idea of that we live on a flat surface or a round surface, the philosophy is still the same, because they figured that out way, 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 way before everybody else did. All the stars, everything moves around from a central point, the sun, the moon, all the different abodes, they're all different things. It says this very, very, very clearly throughout the Vedas. I'm sorry if it's a bit too freaky for you. If it is, it's like just light entertainment. Okay. So this is our earthly plane. It's called Jambudweep. Yeah, that's what we live on. Jambudweep. It's right there. Yeah. You got North Pole type thing at the middle. Yeah, and then round the outside you see a certain blue ring that goes around the outside. Now, Kali Yuga is the fourth season of the universe. The universe has 4 seasons, just like we have 4 seasons on Earth, yeah? In the winter season, which is Kali Yuga, things freeze up. So the big blue thing around us is now a big wall of ice. And strangely enough, they called it Antarctica 10,000 years ago too. So make of that what you will. That's our Jambudweep, yeah? Same model as used on the UN flag. And that's how Vedic society existed. At the middle of Jambudweep, you've got the magnetic north. They described it as a mountain, but it was more a case of it being an energetic thing. People have been trying to ballify the Vedas for years and years and years, but I've got the original stuff because I nicked it from a temple quite a long time ago. I had to, because it was going to be burned or something. Yeah, so you can see it illustrates different models. You've got on the lower planetary systems of the universe lives a slightly lower existence, and all these amazing flashy energy beings live on the higher system, yeah, but that's below Brahma, who sits right at the super top above the North Pole, which they call Dhruvaloka. And also they encoded this into many of their ancient buildings. We say 7 levels, like, you know, represents the chakras, but it also represents the different planes of existence. That's why we say a plane of existence. That's one of the ways how they've managed to ballify it. It works both ways, though. The maths just about kind of fit to a certain degree, and it deals with black holes as well. What are black holes? Those are the bits. If you like an axle, say everything spun on an axle, you'd have to have a bit at the top and the bottom that the axle stuck in, and those are your big black holes.